Laid-back locals, flirty dirndls, stunning scenery, and yes, beer. This is Munich, and this city is even more, with remarkable food, history, and culture.
If you're really serious about beer, and many of the locals here in Munich are, you can reserve your own table here at the Hofbrauhaus. This is the festival hall, so if you have 700 of your closest friends, you can rent this place out. And what goes best with some beer is some big old pretzels. Or you can come to the English Garden and lounge in the green spaces by the water. It's BYOB, where you can grab a pint, some food, and enjoy the live music in the sun. Right here in the English Garden, there's a man-made tributary which has produced an incredible wave, perfect for surfing. It's like a huge farmer's market meets food hall with tons of shops and stalls filled with Munich's best of the best. And no trip to Dallmayr is complete without trying the famous coffee. And I'm gonna try the Select Roast coffee roasted right here in-house. And these beans you can only find here, though you can find Dallmayr coffee in other places in Germany. This one you have to come to the store for. Dirndls used to be thought of as old-fashioned, but no longer. Lola Paltinger is part of the revival of the dirndl here in Germany, and her creative and playful dirndls are really causing waves in the fashion industry. They're so fun to wear. The Nymphenburg Palace is one of the largest royal castles in all of Europe. It's perfect to come here to spend the afternoon strolling around the beautiful gardens or the park, or better yet, you can bring a picnic. So if you're in Munich and want to go where the locals go, come to the Wirthaus of Bavaria Park. This place has a gorgeous atmosphere. They serve Augustiner beer, which is Munich's favorite, and the food is not your typical pub fare. This is gourmet quality Bavarian food. If you're in Munich, you have to come to the Wirthaus. So while you're sampling all this beer here in Munich, why not learn a little bit about beer as well? Come over to the Beer and Oktoberfest Museum, where you can learn about the history of beer. You can also discover why Oktoberfest became so famous in this city. But if this history lesson is making you a little thirsty, don't worry, you can refill your stein at the bar at the end. Welcome to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, home to some of Germany's most beautiful outdoors.
Garmisch-Partenkirchen is a land where fairy tales are real life. The rural countryside is postcard perfect, from the wildflower fields to snow-capped mountains to the charming historic towns. I'm going to show you my favorite things to do in this stunning region.
I'm standing on the top of Germany, literally. This is the highest peak in all of Germany. It's at 3,000 meters. I can see Italy, Austria, Switzerland, and behind me are over 400 peaks. And also, there's a ski area, so you can ski literally all year round. And you can go sledding all year round too, even in the summer. Whee! Zugspitze, the highest peak in Germany and the highest beer garden in Germany. Prost. There are two ways to get to the Partenack Gorge. One, you can walk, it's about 20 minutes, or the easier way, and more scenic, take a horse-drawn carriage. I like this way. The gorge is 80 meters deep, and there's a glacial river that runs through it. This is a 20-minute cliff walk, and a tip, bring an umbrella because you're gonna get dripped on. It's gorgeous.
The gorge was once used by lumberjacks to move wood, though the process was often perilous. There are 2 paths, one near the Roaring River and one 70 meters above. Summer or winter, the gorge's raw, wild beauty is worthy of a visit. And on the way back, shake off that dampness with a stop in a cliffside beer garden and toast with some new friends.
Yay!
Home of the Olympic ski jump, the region has a wealth of sights and sports for the active traveler. And the frescoed buildings in town offer great local shops. Definitely make a reservation, as this place fills up with locals and tourists alike.
This is the oldest coffee house in Garmisch, owned by the same family for over 250 years. They serve exquisite coffee, make their own chocolate, but it's really their pastries that draw the crowd. This cake here is their specialty. It's called Baumkuchen. It's made by layering it up, these delicious layers, into a tower. And when they serve it, they slice it really thin and give you a plate full of these slices. And this looks heavenly. It's very sweet, very delicate, and it's delicious. We're at a must-see restaurant in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. It's called the Gasthaus Fraundorfer, and this is where you come if you want to have truly authentic Bavarian cuisine, as well as Bavarian ambiance. One for me, and one more for me.
Hi, I'm Naomi, and I'm very excited to show you the world's greatest attractions. Experience the medieval lifestyle at Ondex Monastery in Germany. The grandiose Baroque architecture of the church makes it one of Munich's great attractions. In the 12th century, relics of the host consecrated by 2 of the first popes of the Catholic Church were housed here, resulting in it becoming a popular pilgrimage destination. Having brewed beer since the Middle Ages, Ondex Monastery makes some of the best in Germany. They have a variety of distinctly Bavarian beers and specialize in a dark, heavy beer. The amazing architecture, history, and full-bodied beer found here makes it a perfect destination for any visitor. Thank you for watching our travel video series. See you next time.
Tucked away behind towering cliffs is the equally imposing Benedictine monastery of Weltenburg. Built on the banks of the Danube, it dates back to the early 7th century, making it the oldest monastery in Bavaria. The church was not added until the 18th century and duly bears the hallmarks of the late Baroque era. There's plenty of gold in the countless frescoes. And the light-hearted tone of the tour adds to the enjoyment for visitors.
This was meant to convey the message that it's never boring in heaven. The rumor that there's no beer there has always worried the Bavarians. Instead, you spend the whole day abusing a musical instrument. Depending on the time of day, there's the odd hallelujah or hosanna.
But one look at the inner courtyard confirms that there is plenty of beer on Earth. And having the world's oldest monastery brewery to sample from is a further attraction for the million or so tourists from around the globe who come here every year.
And where are you from?
From China.
We are from Spain.
Yes, from Spain, yes, Barcelona.
We are from South Korea, from Busan, and we enjoyed very much this cluster, and especially this beer. Cheers and Prost.
We continue downstream on the Danube River, courtesy of one of the tourist ferries that depart every half hour. And within minutes, we're passing through a gorge known as the Weltenburg Narrows, or Danube Gorge.
The Danube Gorge was formed over thousands of years. The Danube ate its way over 100 meters into the Jurassic limestone rock. The gorge is also the deepest and narrowest point of the Danube in Bavaria.
The cliffs rise up to 80 meters high.
It's a great contrast, the green and the white. Very impressive.
You can see how the water washed out these cliffs, and the result is magnificent. It's a small wonder.
And also a conservation area that can be explored on foot. The hiking trail generally runs parallel to the banks of the Danube.
Grüß dich, Julia.
Grüß dich, Michi.
Ich glaube, die anderen sind schon da.
Das glaube ich auch. Mainzbraten bitte.
Prost.
Prost. Was meinst du? Wollen wir jetzt?
Jetzt ziehen wir es durch.
यार इनका साइज देखो कितना बड़ा है।
Today on Big Boy Travel, we're going to cover the top 10 beer tents at Oktoberfest in Munich, plus a couple extras, and some great insider tips to help you plan your visit. There's an overwhelming number of options when trying to decide which one of the beer tents you should visit at Oktoberfest. Most years, this huge festival has 15 mega-sized beer tents, 22 small tents, beer gardens, and freestanding drink stands to choose from. While there's a lot of options, you really need to plan ahead to decide which tents are right for you, as on any given day you're going to be competing with over 500,000 visitors for just 120,000 seats, and only about 80,000 of these seats are located inside the 15 main beer tents. In this video, we're going to tour all of the best beer tents at Oktoberfest, so you know what to expect and can start prioritizing which ones you want to visit. Remember to visit our website, bigboytravel.com, where we have a full guide on all of the best beer tents for Oktoberfest and some insider tips. After you narrow down your beer tent list, make sure to check out our guide and companion YouTube video covering how to get reservations for Oktoberfest, which also covers how to get seats in the tents without a reservation. Following our reservation guide will make it easier to hop between multiple tents in one day, so you can sample the different atmospheres, signature dishes, and drinks. While we often update our Oktoberfest tent rankings, by far the one that's remained at the top year after year has been the Hofbrau tent. As the child of Munich's historic Hofbrauhaus beer hall, this is the wildest and most fun out of all the Oktoberfest tents. The Hofbrau tent is huge with nearly 10,000 seats inside and out, and it's so big that it sells over 750,000 liters of beer every Oktoberfest. The average level of energy and enthusiasm at the Hofbrau tent any day of the week is unmatched. Because it is so popular, the Hofbrau tent attracts the largest percentage of foreign visitors at Oktoberfest, leaving it often to be called the international tent. As a whole, only around 15% of the visitors at Oktoberfest are foreigners, but at the Hofbrau tent it can be as high as 30% international visitors. But regardless on where people are from, everybody at the Hofbrau tent is here to have a good time, and the live music becomes a universal language. While a few locals will say that the Hofbrau tent is only for stupid tourists, in reality, locals book all of the evening and weekend reservation spots up to a year in advance. There are even huge sections inside the Hofbrau tent just for these local-only reservation spots. Luckily, there's an abundance of unreserved seats at the Hofbrau, which is another reason why it's the best tent at Oktoberfest. If you watched our video on how to get reservations for Oktoberfest, you know how important it is to plan ahead to get a seat, and these extra unreserved seats at Hofbrau can really help out a lot. Hofbrau even has a very unique 1,000-person standing room only section that gets to be a lot of fun. Similar to Hofbrau's famous restaurant, all of the food in the tent is very good, but most people come here for the beer. As a great complement to the lively indoor atmosphere, the Hofbrau also has an excellent outdoor beer garden. With so many festive elements, great beer, and an unmatched level of energy, it's no surprise that so many visitors to Oktoberfest have the Hofbrau tent at the top of their bucket list. Adorned with the cityscape of Munich on its facade, our second favorite tent at Oktoberfest is the Hackabschor. The Hackabschor tent, also known as the Haka, has over 9,000 seats, a very famous mural painting covering the walls, and their brewery has been in business since 1417. The huge brightly colored mural covering the walls and ceiling inside the Hackabschor tent is what definitely sets the festive mood. The gorgeous 360-degree work of art depicts old-world Munich underneath a sky of clouds and Bavarian stars, so it's no wonder that the Hackabschor tent has gained the nickname of Himmel der Bayern, which means the heaven of Bavaria. Because the inside of the Hackabschor tent is so beautiful, it's a favorite among the German TV stations and professional photographers. The view from the second-story balcony is one of the best vantage points in all of Oktoberfest. Much like the Hofbrau tent, the Hackabschor is definitely a very energetic place any time of day. With the gorgeous muraled backdrop, what really fuels the atmosphere inside the Hackabschor tent is the amazing live music. Starting with brass oompa music and moving into classic rock hits, the intensity of the music in the Hackabschor tent is helped by the fact that their band is centrally located. The stage in the middle of the tent also rotates, and it's decorated with 9 red-coated barrel makers known as Coopers. These joyful figures mirror the ones inside the Glockenspiel at Munich's new town hall. With a combination of beauty and great music, the Hackabschor tent has maybe the most magical moment in Oktoberfest each year. This happens at closing time of the last day of the festival, when everybody lights up sparklers and joins in singing Sierra Madre. Our third favorite beer tent at Oktoberfest is the Schützen. Located near the foot of the Lady Bavaria statue, this tent is one of the most favorite among locals. Because the Schützen is very popular and has a couple thousand less seats than both Hofbrau and Haka, it can fill up very fast even on weekdays. The name Schützen, meaning shooters, goes back to the days where there used to be shooting competitions at Oktoberfest, and today the tent attracts a lot of international celebrities. With an iconic green, red, and yellow interior, the Schützen is often called the music tent. This is because they not only get the best bands at Oktoberfest, but they also have a largely German-speaking crowd that really gets into all of the music. We absolutely love this tent, but we highly suggest that you check out our Oktoberfest music guide at bigboytravel.com before attending so you know what the songs are all about. One of the most famous aspects of the music inside the Schützen tent is their very unique version of the popular Oktoberfest song called Ein Prosit. there are a couple different aspects to the Schützen version of the song, which starts with their own signature call to action to raise your glasses and get ready. The middle of the song Ein Prosit inside the Schützen tent is the normal salute to friendship and good times. After the countdown call to cheers with your neighbors, there's an extra special festive part added onto the end of the song here. Schützen serves Lowenbrau beer, which is the brewery that hosts the famous after-party almost every night of Oktoberfest. Unlike most of the main beer tents, the Schützen has a full bar in its southwest corner which serves schnapps, mixed drinks, champagne, and wine. This tent is also well known for having the best pig dishes on their menu, which is really saying something since Munich is famous for its pork. Visiting the Schützen tent is also a great opportunity to visit the nearby Lady of Bavaria statue. Standing 60 feet tall on a 23-foot base, you can actually climb the back of the statue to get a bird's eye view of the Oktoberfest grounds. The fourth best tent at Oktoberfest is the Käfer's Tavern, which is definitely a must on any itinerary. Unlike the other tents at Oktoberfest, Käfer's Oktoberfest Tavern is designed to be like a rustic farmhouse inside where you can get that Bavarian coziness known as Gemütlichkeit. Käfer's Oktoberfest Tavern could easily be our top tent, as it has the most authentic atmosphere, a high level of fun, and the best food at Oktoberfest. The only reason it isn't in the top spot is because it fills up fast, making it difficult for many visitors to get in, but with a little planning following our reservation guide, you'll get in with ease. This country-style tavern is divided into two levels, each one of them has their own band in the middle, and the segmented seating is a lot more flexible with options for 6 to 12 people and even a couple two-person seats. From top to bottom, Käfer's Oktoberfest Tavern is exactly what the festival is supposed to feel like. It has amazing music, gourmet food, and almost every inch of the tavern turns into a dance floor. You'll have to plan ahead to get inside, and you're definitely going to want to dress traditionally, but the level of fun and friendliness you'll find inside Käfer's Oktoberfest Tavern is truly unmatched. In addition to its energetic interior, Käfer's Oktoberfest Tavern also has the best outdoor beer garden at the festival. We love how the rustic elements carry outside into the beer garden, and it gets really stunning after dark. While Oktoberfest is famous for its beer, you definitely have to check out all the sparkling wines and champagne at the Kaufle's wine tent. There are actually tons of places to get wine at Oktoberfest, but because Kaufle's is sponsored by Neufenberg Sekt, which is one of the most famous wineries in Bavaria, you'll have over 25 different labels to choose from just in one tent. Another thing that makes Kaufle's wine tent very unique is the fact that it is a true festival hall designed to feel like a royal hunting lodge. With only 2,500 seats, the cozy atmosphere inside the Kaufle's wine tent is accented by the fact that it is segmented off into intimate-feeling booths. This design really helps the Kaufle's wine tent come alive in the evenings, as everybody dances on top of their sturdy benches. With a great drink menu, a very cozy layout, and an amazing concert-like atmosphere in the evenings, you definitely need to add the wine tent to your list at Oktoberfest. The sixth best tent at Oktoberfest is the Schottenhamel, which also happens to be the oldest on the grounds, dating back to 1867. When Schottenhamel first started, it was a tiny shack that could only hold 50 farmers at a time, and now it's one of the biggest at Oktoberfest with over 9,000 seats. While this tent is extremely popular with Bavarians of all ages, for decades the Schottenhamel has been the favorite place of young Munich residents in their 20s to visit. Because the Schottenhamel is very popular with locals, The unreserved sections can fill up faster than normal, even on weekdays. The Schottenhamel also has a very important role at Oktoberfest, as it's here that exactly noon on the opening Saturday, the mayor of Munich taps the first keg and declares the festival open for all. Even if you can't make it here on opening day, the Schottenhamel is a great place to start your own Oktoberfest adventure. Going back to 1901, the Brauerosel is one of the tents that really keeps tradition alive at Oktoberfest. Roughly translated to English as the Brewer's Rosie, the Brauerosel was named after the daughter of the original brewmaster of this tent. Rosie was beautiful, charismatic, and would wow the tent with her amazing yodeling skills. Today those yodeling skills are still on display as the tent ceremonially has a yodeler multiple times a day in Rosie's honor. With an amazing atmosphere, the Brauerosel has remained one of the favorites among locals and is easy to find thanks to the two 60-foot tall maypoles near its entrance. Since the 1980s, the Brauerosel has also been home to Gay Sunday, which takes place on the first Sunday of Oktoberfest each year. If you were at Oktoberfest to try all the best signature dishes, then you definitely need to check out the Ox Tent. Opened in 1881, this huge tent has an interior filled with blue and white garland, but it is most famous for its juicy ox meat sandwiches. The Oxen Tent is also well known for its amazing prime rib dish, which is often considered the best meal at Oktoberfest. The Spaten beer goes great with the food, and if you walk to the open kitchen, you can see the oxen being cooked fresh on the rotisserie. They typically cook 7 oxen a day here, and the names for each one are listed on the front of the tent as you enter. Even if you can't get inside the Oxen Tent, they have a secret side door where you can get an ox meat sandwich for takeaway. If you want to feel a throwback to old school Oktoberfest, then you really need to visit the marquee tradition tent inside vintage Oktoberfest, known as the Odewiesen. This area of the grounds was set up in 2010 in honor of the 200th anniversary of modern Oktoberfest, but it became so popular that they kept it around as a permanent event. The Marquee Tradition is the most family-friendly out of all the tents, and they have very flexible booking options for reservations even for foreigners all the way into August. Throughout the day there will be live performances from traditional folk groups including whip snappers, dancers, and singers. The Tradition Tent is also one of the only places you can drink from a real stoneware stein instead of the large 1-liter glass mugs known as Mosses. It's all of the attention to detail from the old school mugs, the dancing, and the vintage folk groups that make the Tradition Tent a really cool place to visit while you're at Oktoberfest. As one of the favorite tents of locals from Munich, the Augustiner is considered to have the best beer at Oktoberfest. The Augustiner Brewery definitely is a thing of pride in Munich as it was founded in 1328 by local monks. We especially love their light beer, known in German as Hellas. The beer inside the Augustiner tent tastes extra fresh as it's one of the only places that still serves out of wooden barrels. In addition to having the best beer at Oktoberfest, the Augustiner also has a very gorgeous interior. With dim lighting and a green vaulted ceiling, the atmosphere can become very romantic inside the Augustiner tent. If you're looking for a beautiful atmosphere where you're surrounded by locals and have the best beer at Oktoberfest, the Augustiner might be the tent for you. Often called the dessert tent, Café Kaiserschmarrn is the only one of the 22 small tents that litter the Oktoberfest grounds, which makes our top overall beer tents list. It's not surprising that Kaiserschmarrn means a silly emperor when you see the playful gingerbread-like exterior. The cafe is run by one of Munich's best confectionery shops, and the playful atmosphere is enhanced by freshly baked pastries, sweet gourmet treats, and amazing drinks. The tangy cocktails are great, but the drink of choice at Kaiserschmarrn is definitely Prosecco. While this tent attracts an older crowd, there's definitely no shortage of fun. As a cool tradition, they have a ceremonial cake cutting in honor of King Ludwig I, whose wedding in 1810 kicked off modern Oktoberfest. In addition to the desserts and the sweet drinks, what really drives the atmosphere in the Kaiserschmarrn is the music. There's even a custom catwalk for the musicians. We cover all of the tents from this video, plus a couple extra ones you need to know about in great detail at our guide at bigboytravel.com/Oktoberfest. We update our best beer tent rankings often, but we also cover many of the other attractions around the Oktoberfest grounds, including the rides, carnival games, beer gardens, and freestanding drink stands. These drink stands serve everything from wine to champagne and schnapps and can be a great place to stop while you explore the grounds and hop between the beer tents. There's even a hidden wheat beer carousel where you get to slowly rotate while you drink your beer, and the vintage carousel almost feels like a mini beer tent. Today on Big Boy Travel, we're going to look at one of the most iconic songs at Oktoberfest called Fliegerlied, which is known in English as the Flyer Song. We also have a complete Oktoberfest guide available on our website, bigboytravel.com, which covers all of the top songs plus a bunch of insider tips. Although it is a children's song filled with a lot of animal gestures, the Flyer Song is definitely one of the most iconic tunes at Oktoberfest. It's a song about a man lying in the grass on a nice sunny day when he sees an airplane fly by and thinks of all the ways in which he would go to his love and share the beautiful day with her. The song will have you flying like a plane, acting strong like a tiger, being tall like a giraffe, hopping like a kangaroo, and swimming through the water before embracing your neighbor's hand. If you feel lost during the song, just pay attention to the gestures that the Germans are making and follow along.
Und jetzt geht's um Kiwi-Grün, die aber anders heißt. Das ist der Hit. Ich bin schockverliebt in den Posaunisten. Die Draufgänger, Cordula Grün.
Sie hieß Cordula Grün, ich hab sie tanzen gesehen. Dann hab ich sie noch gefragt, ob sie morgen mit mir einen Tee trinken mag. Oder ein Fruchtkonzentrat. Wer zuerst geht, verliert, hat sie dann abends kantiert. Aus unserem Tee wurde Bier, 2 große Schnaps und sie sagt, komm mit nach Hause zu mir. Mein Mann war nicht mehr hier. In der Band überm Ring steh ich auf und ich sing ihr ein Liebeslied. Ihr graut vor Kitschpoesie mit Refrain, Mimimi, sie macht Tanzmusik. Cordula Grün, Cordula Grün, Cordula Grün, ich hab dich, ich hab dich, ich hab dich. Cordula Grün, du bist so schwer zu verstehen. Cordula Grün, ich würd dich gern wiedersehen. Cordula Grün, ich hab dich, ich hab dich, ich hab dich. Ich hab dich tanzen gesehen. Mir war's am nächsten Tag klar, ich will jetzt nur Cordula. Ich bin und bleib Optimist, selbst wenn sie mir verschwieg, dass sie verheiratet ist mit einem Pädiatrist. Ihr Mann hieß Eberhard Grün, er hat sie tanzen gesehen. Dann hat er sie noch gefragt, ob sie morgen mit ihm vor den Altar treten mag. Und sie hat ja gesagt. Hätte ich das geahnt, hätte ich's anders geplant und hätte weggesehen. Ich konnte nicht fort von ihr gehen, fing auch an, mich zu drehen, denn sie tanzt so schön. Cordula Grün, Cordula Grün, Cordula Grün, ich hab dich, ich hab dich, ich hab dich. Cordula Grün, du bist so schwer zu verstehen. Cordula Grün, ich würd dich gern wiedersehen. Cordula Grün, ich hab dich, ich hab dich, ich hab dich. Ich hab dich tanzen gesehen. Ich hab dich tanzen gesehen. Ich hab dich tanzen gesehen. Ich hab dich tanzen gesehen.
Die Draufgänger mit Cordula Grün, ich hab dich tanzen gesehen und ich hoffe, wir haben Ihnen einen schönen Sommer bereitet. Ich bedanke mich ganz, ganz herzlich bei den Fernsehzuschauerinnen und Fernsehzuschauern. Ich bedanke mich bei den Besuchern auf dem Lerchenberg, am allermeisten aber bei meinen 140 Kolleginnen und Kollegen. Freunde, das war unser Sommer. Einer für alle, alle für einen. Mama, Papa, Espresso und Käsebrot, ich komme nach Haus. Alles Liebe, bis nächsten Sonntag live von der Nordsee. Ihre Kiwi!
Ich
Also die haben die aus Bad Reichenhall zum Beispiel geholt, das Salz und den Wein aus Südtirol und im 18. Jahrhundert dann
und das ist der Heimat- und Trachtenverein Horsigau und der Josef Keindl oder der Keindl-Sepp ist bei mir. Habe ich das richtig ausgesprochen?
Ist ja so, ja. Bei uns sagt man Sepp einfach.
Horsigau?
Huose oder Hurse oder das kann man sagen, wie es ist, oder wie man will, weil man da verschiedene Dialektformen eigentlich herin hat. Wir haben ja ein Gebiet, das verbreitet sich praktisch vom Alpenrand bis runter ins Unterland, Dachau, Münchner Ecken sogar. Und da gibt es auch ganz andere Dialektformen, so ist es halt.
Andere Dialektformen, die sich mischen und natürlich auch viele Trachten, viele verschiedene Besonderheiten.
Ja, so ist es, weil wir einfach zum einen von der Gebirgstracht geprägt sind, aber aus dem Fünfseenland auch von den historischen Regionaltrachten, Fischertrachten bringt man so den Begriff mit und da orientiert man sich letztendlich auch an der Trachtengeschichte aus dem 19. Jahrhundert in den verschiedensten Formen.
Und natürlich bereitet ihr euch auf so einen Tag ganz besonders vor.
Ja klar, da mit 250 Leuten mitzumarschieren, das ist schon was Besonderes und das braucht organisieren. Aber das Festgewand als solches, das haben wir durchaus auch bei anderen Anlässen noch, auch zum Teil im privaten Bereich, immer wenn wir einfach festlich gestimmt sind.
So wie heute. Vielen Dank, Sepp Keindl. Dankeschön.
Ja, das sind Tiroler Schützen, Südtiroler Schützen, die Schützenkompanie Peter Keminata. Und die haben letztes Jahr ein ganz besonderes Fest gefeiert. Da wurde nämlich eine bayerische Schützenfahne zurückgegeben, die im Freiheitskampf von 1809 erbeutet wurde. War ein Riesenevent. Letztes Jahr auf der Festung Franzensfeste. Und das hier ist schon die Trachtmusikkapelle Michael Beuern aus dem Salzburger Land.
Und die spielen uns mein schönes Salzburg.